How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This'll be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Welcome to Hump Day with our good friend, the Big Boopa.
That's right.
AKA Charming Charles. How are you today, my friend?
All right. How's it going?
Pretty good. Had an okay day yesterday at Parks. Hit the pick 4 at the end, so I was pleased about that. A couple of exactas in there where the long shot got those backdoor exactas or nice price horses, beat those short price horses. And I like the card today, too, at Horseshoe Indianapolis. I feel like there's going to be some bombs today. It's unpredictable enough that if you hit something, I think you're going to get paid. What do you think?
Yeah, there's going to be, especially I think the 7th race is bomb race. Could be possibly bomb race, I should say. But there is some potential bombs here and there in a couple spots that at least have a chance of upsetting the apple cart.
So last night, if you're going to get a chance, our good friend, Tyler Connor, great friend of the show. In fact, one of our biggest supporters, was on with Terry Hollywood Hay as your host. And Terry did a phenomenal job as always. And he was with Swiss Army Sean, and they talked about a whole lot of stuff, including whether 2-year-olds should run or not. And Tyler, I think, had a pretty good answer for that. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree with him on that 100%. When it comes to the young ones, some people push them just to sell them. And so that breaks down horses quicker. I mean, if they're trained the right way, taken care of the right way, you can run them at 2, yes. But I think more or less it's because of the industry and the mighty dollar.
Well, the dollar does unfortunately have its, as Pink Floyd said, it's the root of all evil today. I'm sure somebody else said that too before Pink Floyd, and they just plagiarized it. But hell, at least I have one source. So tonight at 8 o'clock, I'll be joining Sean. Unfortunately, Julie has a family issue that she's got to take care of. Good luck with that, Julie. We all wish the best for you and your family. But tonight, Ramiro Restrepo will be on. He is a co-owner of the Kentucky Derby winner, Preakness show horse, Mage. This should be a fun show. We'll have him on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you have questions regarding the Kentucky Derby winner, or perhaps even ways that you can participate in the micro shares that they make available for horses, tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern. The best way to make sure you don't miss myself or the incredible Swiss Army Sean is to do what, Charles?
Subscribe to YouTube, and there's a little bell there. Hit that, and you'll be alerted right when that show starts. And you could always join every show that we have, from picks to the actual shows that you're talking about, Horse Center.
Yeah, I would really. I mean, I think for what we do, I mean, we're shills for the industry and all that stuff, but I think for what we do, you get an opportunity to talk to people firsthand. I don't see that for any really other. UFC has some of that stuff with a couple of their shows, but for the most part, it's one of the few places that you have direct access to people in the industry in a game that you may or may not love. I know I like horse racing a lot, Charles. I like it so much that we've made a YouTube channel. What's happening, Jared? How are you today, my friend? Out in New York. The New York attitude, gotta love my man Jared. Too bad your Giants are going to suck again, but hey, that's okay. The Cowboys will kick their ass again. All right, so Cowboys. First race today. I'm just all over everybody today, huh, Charles?
Yeah, you are.
First race today at Horseshoe Indianapolis is a 1-mile maiden claiming $10,000 race. Maybe this is not the race where you're going to get a bomb in here, Charles, but at 1 mile on the Horseshoe Indianapolis track on the dirt, early speed has done well. 38% of the time, Charles, they've gone wire to wire, and it's been fair in terms of post positions. We like to do simulations here, so we do morning line odds relative to our sim odds. That's 1,000 races we simulate using speed figures, and then the lower the sim odds, the better. Same here for who's going to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker. In this case, the higher the better. It gives you the percentage, again, based upon 1,000 races. And using the same 1,000 race strategy for simulations, we determine our own C-Zone score. It's comfort zone. Which horses are likely to get trips that are very favorable or mirror some of their past winning efforts? The higher the score, the better there too. Charles, tell us about some of the numbers you see.
Well, when it comes to who's going to have the lead at the quarter pole, looks like that number 7 has got a 92% chance of taking that lead. And that's how I see it on paper. It's saying it's a 1-horse race, which usually is pretty scary, especially when it comes to maiden. So that's probably the only horse that's really going to be out on the lead. When it comes to simulation odds, there's not really much. I mean, the 7's right where it's supposed to be right now. Actually, let's see, it's right now 3 to 5,
which is about what the odds say. 3 to 5 is still fair value. Yeah.
So that's it when it comes to simulation odds.
At least according to what we've seen so far. We also like to take a look at how the race might play out in terms of race shape. Well, so far, no horse has really been close at the finish line. Every one of them has been within 5, has not, except been within 5 lengths of the leader at the end. So you really don't know what you're going to get in this bunch here. As far as early speed is concerned, I do think you're going to see that 7 horse has an 8-point advantage over everybody else, likely to be the one that sets the tone when the gates are open and the dirt starts flying. If you can't hold on, the 2 horse has a pretty good late pace advantage, a 9-point late pace advantage. It might be a length or 2 behind the 7, but if he keeps up, uses that late legs, if the 2 is anywhere near the 7 coming down the stretch, it might be really tough to hold him off. The 2 of them grade out as the best horses from an early speed, late speed combination. Charles, I think early speed might have the edge here. That's probably why we both went to 7 first.
Yeah, I mean, 7 has speed, drops in class, second start after a layoff. Well bet last time. He looks like he should be the favorite. I don't know about 3 to 5, but
yeah, kind of tough to take a 3 to 5 in a maiden claiming 10 at any time.
Yeah, especially at 10. Yeah. And then my second choice here is the 6. This horse drops in class. He's going longer today. I've been off for 8 months, but you got some solid works there. So that horse has a shot, I think. The 4 drops in class. Trainer gets 18% first time to a route with a horse, adds Lasix today. And then I have the 2 as my final horse, my price horse. A third start after a layoff, drops in class also. Fits with these horses. So I just think it's the 7th horse race. It's his race to lose. And after that, let's see what happens.
I would pay attention to the C-zone and all these simulated scores we do, as well as the way to the winner's circle with the pace. I cannot tell you how many times I go back at the end of the day. I think yesterday in the Parks card, in 8 of the 10 races is one of the top C-zone scores or one of the best sim odd scores that got the win at Parks yesterday. And it happens over and over and over again. I like, and again, you can only get the C-zone score here. We're gonna mass produce it soon, folks. So we'll let you know when it's available for every track and every race every day. And when we do, make sure you help support us with that. No Joking Matter is a straight maiden special weight dropper with an aggressive early pace edge. I think that straight maiden special weight drop will only accentuate that early speed advantage. Valine, this one's been off since September, Charles. It's another straight maiden special weight dropper. Does have some decent May workouts at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Like to see that it's rounding into form for its return to work. Liz Ciandino, I guess, did tie for the top last race speed figure, that 2 horse. Small drop from the maiden claiming 12.5. That's why we didn't rank it a little bit higher, because it's facing up against some straight MS droppers, but is making the 3rd start after a layoff. And then finally, the 5 horse, Far's last one, is the top overlay, according to the simulator here. What, the 5 horse is out?
Yeah, 5 horses out.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'm going to go with the 3 horse. Get Stormin away. Let me go change that in race number 1. And then I got to change it. Well, it doesn't change my pick 5.
The 5 horse is not out. No.
Who's out in race 1?
No one.
No one's out. Why does that mark this out? All right. So I'm going to go with the 5 horse. Maybe that means that's supposed to be a different race. I don't know what's going on there. But I'm going to go with the 5 horse. And I'm the one who marks these things. So I don't have any excuses, to be honest with you. That's just a straight dumb action on my part. Hopefully it doesn't play out that way. But I'm going to do with my $100 budget. I'm going to get it started. I'm going to play both pick 5s today. Again, I feel like you're going to get some prices in the middle. I'm going to single up the 7 and then just play a pick 4 on the back end. 1, 2, 6 with the 1, 3, 6 with the 3, 6 and the 2, 8 for me in race number 1. Wonder why I thought the 5 horse was scratched. Anyway, I know I scratched in 1 race. Maybe it's race 2. I'm not sure, Charles.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, race 2 is where the 5 horse is scratched. Yeah. So that's the one. All right, so let me go over here. I just got ahead of myself by 1 race, Charles. That can happen to the best of us sometimes, right?
Yep.
As you can see here on race number 2, a lot of first-time starters. I think half the field in here is first-time starters in the 2nd spot. That's why there aren't any simulation numbers in there. For race 2, they're going to run 5 furlongs. Again, another maiden special weight, $34,000 affair. At 5 furlongs, there have been 6 races. Charles, 100% of them were won by speed, so they don't run at that first race at Finger Lakes today then, Charles.
Jesus.
3 of them went wire to wire. There is a rail has played fair. 2 and 3 has been the best. 4 through 7 gets a discount. 8 and out so far in the 6 races hasn't won. Charles, no simulations, no way to the winner's circle, so just straight to picks.
All right. Well, I'm going with the number 1 here. This horse drops in class, has some speed, hot jockey trainer combo in the last 14 days. So I think this horse is well worth looking at. I think my second choice here is the 3. This horse ran second last time out, has some speed also. Well bet last time, so that means they liked them. And then the 6 horse is my third choice. This horse is bred for sprinting. Solid works. Trainer Ortiz gets 14% overall. So, I mean, that's a good combo there, and he's an excellent trainer to get them all ready to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4 horse is my final pick. Has some speed. Trainer gets 11% second time out. And this horse is also bred to have some speed.
You're going to do a pick 4? You're going to start to spend some of your money?
I'm going to start spending my money. I'm going with my pick 4 here. I'm going to do my top 2 picks in the first leg, top 3 picks in the second leg, singling that third leg, and then I'm going my top 4 picks in the fourth and final leg.
So that too in race number 4 going to be the key linchpin for Charles and his pick 4. I got number 1 April cover as well as you do. Churchill Downs track dropper like that. Also should have an early race edge over the rest of this field. So I think that's the one that's going to get out to the front when 100% of them have gone speed and 50% wire to wire in the 6 races so far. The 6 horse Crown Imperial, that last work at Keeneland, which was 4 furlongs and 48 seconds. Charles, I consider that legit. And the horse also is going to get a weight break today, so should be able to hold that speed longer. Number 2, Best Cupcake. Might have the best works of all the first-time starters in here, Charles. Nice price, too, at 10-1 morning line. And it's one of 2 horses that were born in March for these 2-year-olds. All the other ones were born in April. At 1 month might not sound like a whole lot, but when you're 2 years old, 1 month can make a big difference. As a trainer, do you agree or disagree with that?
Oh, huge. Big difference. Every month makes a big difference.
And then the other 2-year, other March horse in here is the 3 horse, Charles' second pick. Heavenly Dream does hit our good friend Chris Parmalou's angle, finished second last time out. And in the debut, it's in race pace numbers from the beginning to the middle of the end were very consistent. Not a big drop off anywhere along the race. I like to see that. Usually an indication that a horse will improve in round 2. I'm going to do a 50-cent try 1, 2, 6 over to 1, 2, 6 over to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 for my budget. Looks like race number 1, Charles. They're kind of circling around in the back. They're a little bit slow over there. So while we wait for that, you mentioned before we got started on the show that Finger Lakes, you watched the opening race. That was a bit on the slow side, but you can do something quick here. You can go down to the description below here on YouTube at Facebook. There is a link to our free picks today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. And there you see in race number 1, Cut the Cord was the favorite for us anyways, as a best bet. Was the 2 horse. I don't know. How did he do, Charles? Let's see.
The 2 horse was he finished second.
He finished second. The 1-1. There you go. So we had the 1 in there. And who finished third in race number 1?
I don't remember who finished third.
Let's see. Race number 1. It went actually the 2 horse one. It went 2, 5, and 1. So the best bet there, was paid $370. But where else can you collect almost double your money in about 3 minutes to run 6 furlongs?
Jeez,
right, Charles?
Yeah, it was very, very slow.
Yes, indeed. Anyway,
I was clocking them with a sundial.
You and the Aztecs. All right, let's see what's going on here with race number 1 at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Let's rewind back to our man. They are taking forever over there. Where are they? In Charlestown in Indianapolis or down in Miami? What are they doing?
It's terrible.
A little on the slow side. All right. Well, they're not even to the. I don't even hear the nice soothing voice of John Dooley yet, telling us that they're approaching the gate yet. It's interesting from John Dooley because he was the track announcer here at Arlington. We had him on Horse Center, Sean and I, as a guest. And when you go to the track and you hear the PA announcer's voice over the intercom system or the
Mhm.
speaker system, it almost sounds like the voices are descending from the heavens above, right?
Yeah.
And then and John Dooley has a very, like, I would say, radio-esque voice, right? A very good voice. So when he was speaking, you'd hear him at the track. And then when he came on the show, it was almost like, Morgan Freeman in that show with Jim Carrey, like when like the voice of God almost.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean to be blasphemous, but that's just an analogy.
Mhm. Well, now they're ending the gate.
I want to say thank you to Philip Perkins for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you're like Philip and you like what you see here, no matter if it's this show or any of our shows, thumbs up help us with the algorithms on YouTube and on Facebook. We appreciate them. Of course, subscriptions. We like when people hit the subscribe button too. Our goal is to get to 10,000. Hopefully we can do it this year. It's going to be a tough slog, but if you haven't done so yet, they say only 10% of the people hit the subscribe button. So be one of the 10%. It's a free way to support the show. Hopefully we give you great information, good picks, and you'll tell your friends about us. All right, race number 1. It looks like they're all in, Charles. They're about to get going in the first to open it up, and bang, and they open it up. And unfortunately for you and I, Charles, at least for me, in my pick 5, that 7 horse didn't get the best break. He's going to be stuck way wide because the 6 kind of went up the track. So if you like horses that are last, that are 5 wide at 3 to 5 in maiden claiming 10, which unfortunately both of us have, good luck. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, so they're only running on this race. What are they going? 1 mile, correct?
Yeah.
And the opening quarter went 24-78. So for maiden claiming, maybe at this level, that's a bit on the quick side for these horses. So it could prove to be a benefit to the 7 horse in his tough break. He is starting to make its move up. The 2 horse right now, Liz Ciandino, is your pace setter. Got a whole host of horses right behind it, though, trying to challenge. The 6 horse, in between horses, has moved into second place, Valine. The 7 horse is looming on the outside. Everybody uses that word, looming. We have to come up with another one, right, Charles?
That 7 is really tugging big time.
Yeah, but I like the way that the 6 jockey's just standing straight up on that horse. He hasn't asked him to run yet.
The 7's asking already.
Yeah, the 7's asking already. This is going to come down to the 2 or the 6. The 7 ain't going to win. That break cost the 7 his chance to win this race. You can't go 5 wide through the turn when you're supposed to be the horse on the lead. It just doesn't work out. Right? So it looks to me like the 2 horses in command here going to go on and win this race handily, Charles.
Yeah, with ease.
With ease, yes. And then the 6 horse is kind of wobbling around down the stretch. The 3 horses making a play on him, get Stormy away. But it's going to go 2 and then 6 and then probably 3. So 2, 6, and 3. Should have probably put that 2 horse in there, Charles. And look at that. There you go. You got the horses with the 2 and the 6. I talked about this right before. These C-zone numbers, there's your C-zone exacta with the top 2 C-zone scores in the race, the 2 and the 6. And they went off respectively at 5-1 and 6-1. You want to talk about a nice exacta, that exacta is going to pay. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay to have your pick 5 start with the 7 horse, though.
No,
on a single. Not. But it's like golf, Charles. You can hit a 300-yard drive, but if you 3-putt everything, each putt counts the same as a drive. In horse racing, the start is just as important as any other part of the race. And when you get stuck, you come out slow and you're 5 wide through the first turn, your chances are screwed.
And you're a maiden claimer.
Yeah, maiden claiming 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on to race number 3. I mean, we put all this stuff together beforehand, so I don't know what the odds are going to be. I would never, in a maiden claiming 10, put a 1 to 5 on top of a ticket. Would you?
No.
Yeah,
no.
Me either. But unfortunately, we don't get time to go back and change that. So race number 3.
That's why I said it's a scary favorite in this race.
Yeah, any maiden claiming race for 10 grand at a track like Horseshoe Indianapolis, or any track for that matter.
Oh, yeah, anyone.
Yeah, it's lower level horses, and you just no horses worth 1 to 5 at that level. All right, into race number 3 we go. 6 furlongs claiming 8,000, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. At 6 furlongs, the profile of a Horseshoe Indianapolis winner does favor early speed, with 34% of the horses leading them from gate to wire, tape to tape. post positions 1 through 3, there's a small discount in there, Charles. 4 through 7 get a little bit of a bonus. If you happen to wear an 8 or out, it's major punishment. You're in detention out there, Charles. Something you probably spent a lot of time in detention in high school.
Yeah, I was a bad boy all the time.
So when I graduated from high school in 1984, everybody got their like diploma thing, right? Boom, opened it up in June of 1984. I opened mine up. And when I opened it up, there's a sheet of paper in there. It wasn't my diploma. It said, you owe this many hours of detention before I can go get my high school diploma. And my mother made me go to Saturday detention the day after I graduated from high school so that I would get that diploma. Can you believe that?
Well, yeah. Would you do that to your kid?
Hell no. Once you graduated, right? You've met all the state requirements. You don't need that piece of paper. In any case, in race number 3, Charles, it looks like splash of tonic. Maybe I had too many splashes of tonic in high school.
Maybe.
That's why I had all the detentions. But that one's going to get the lead.
Yeah, that one's got a 55% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. But that, too, might have a say in that, a 26% chance. And you got a couple other horses like the 1, the 6, and the 7 that might, push them along a little bit. But I think the 3 is the one that's going to be the one out there winging it. When it comes to simulation odds, you have that 1 itself just slightly over even money. You got 2.5 to 1 on the morning line. And then you have that 4 just slightly over even money also. And you got 4.5 to 1 on the morning line. And that is it when it comes to overlays on the odds.
So JT Brew should really be JT Turf Brew because he is our in-house turf expert. Today, you got a few nice turf plays for us. Indianapolis today, race 5. We'll be getting up to that. Number 2, Mom's Moon and Parks. Race number 7 to 10, Girls on Fire. Delaware, race number 5. Number 6, Redeem Eddie. And in race number 7, does that say Palo? P-A-L-I-O? Palio? P-A-L-I-O? Yes, I'm indeed blind. So everyone screenshot that and keep those races in mind when they're coming up today. Because JT's definitely on his turf game. The game, as far as the pace set up for race number 3, you don't really have any that want the lead. There's no E or EP types in here, Charles. They're all pressure horses that prefer to be off the pace, right off the pace, chase the leader around, and then 3 closers. So a lot of times horses that get to the lead that haven't really done that before, sometimes they can get courageous. If that's the case, Splash of Tonic might become the most courageous horse. Happy Sales, really all of them, with the exception of maybe Rap Injustice. That one's about the only one that might not chase the leaders when they're coming down the stretch. Second Exchange has a little bit of a pace advantage over Dalton's Love and Tribal Spirit, but that 3 are definitely a little bit more late octane than the rest of this bunch. Put it all together, and the combination belongs to Second Exchange, Dalton's Love. Again, you got the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 6. Not going to be at all surprised, Terry, if that quartet produces the winner. Terry, Charles, what do you think?
Okay, well, I personally like the 1 in this race. I think it's a 2-horse race myself. The 1 will be closing. Drops in class today. You got a hot jockey trainer combo in the last 14 days with this horse. So I think this horse, the race might set it up for this one. The 3 is the other horse, like we just finished talking about, with that 55, 56% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. I believe that. He's got the speed to do it. He's won his last 2, drops in class. Third start after a layoff with this, and the trainer gets 15% with that angle. So those my top 2 picks for my exacta also box. But my third choice in this race is the 6. This horse drops in class, cuts back in distance. Trainer gets 23% when he moves him from the turf to the dirt. And then the 4 horse is my final choice here. Nice overlay on that one, like we said earlier. Ran second last time, second start after a layoff. And this is another one that will be closing also.
I'm going to start off with the 3 horse as my top choice here in the 3rd race. Splash of Tonic did increase its speed figure in the last 2 races. Did run a little bit better fractions last time out too. And this horse is dropping off of a win. Now, trainer's done this 3 times and come home with a second back-to-back check twice out of 3 times. So it must have been some condition like loophole in there that the trainer found. Tribal Spirit, the 1 horse, 3rd off the break. This one's coming in from Churchill Downs and Oak Lawn Park. So it is a track dropper. The 6 horse, Dalton's Love, comes in for 3rd for me, flipping from turf to dirt. And trainer Jeffrey Greenhill wins at 23% on the surface switch versus 8% overall. So that's like 3 times his normal win rate. That's absolutely a alpha angle. And the only time this horse won, it did the same thing. It flipped from turf to dirt. So we're going to see if he can repeat that cycle today. Second exchange, the 4-horse, probably should have put her third. This horse has run into distance 9 times, won once, didn't finish second yet, but 7 thirds. Has a nice workout between races. So maybe I should have flipped the 4 and the 6 around on my picks, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm going to do a trifecta, 1, 3, 6 over the 1, 3, 6, over the 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7 for 50 cents. And by the way, in race number 1, if you did play the C-Zone exacta between the 2 and the 6, you got paid $52.40 for $2, Charles. That's a nice exacta.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. All right, let's see if we can find a nice exacta in the 4th race today at Horseshoe Indianapolis. In race number 4, Sir Charles, they're going to run 6 furlongs for an allowance, $5,000. The purse is $16,500. Again, just a quick recap. Early speed does do okay at 6 furlongs. 34 out of 100 horses will take them from tape to tape. Small discount, post 1 through 3, 4 through 7, play fair. You do not want to wear an 8 or out. Charles, our simulations for race number 4 tell what story to you?
Well, it looks like that 5-horse, basically an 82% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole.
As long as he doesn't go 5 wide and get off to a slow start.
Well, yeah, I mean, 5 wide, but I mean, I really don't know if there's there's really not much speed inside of him like him. You know, he's pretty fast, so he might have a good shot at that. Now, when it comes to simulation odds, we got the 2-horse there. What is that? About 3 to
1 to 2.
Yeah, 1 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you got 2.5 to 1 morning line. Hopefully we still get that on the morning line at the end. And when it comes to simulation odds, the 7 also, just slightly under 3 to 1. And you got morning line of 5 to 1.
About half of what its value. And just look at this 5-horse, Fenestra. Strongest C-Zone score, likely to get on the lead. Would have liked to seen something other than 99 to 1 in there on his chances to win. But hey, can't get everything, right, Charles?
That's right.
In the race number 4.
Every once in a while, they all line up pretty good, but yeah.
Yeah, here's a race shape that should scare everybody. I mean, if you're back in the 1, you got to be happy to see this because you have the 2, the 4, and the 6, the 2, 3, 4, and 6. They all want to be leaders. The 5 and the 7, they like to play pilot or co-pilot, so they can sit comfortably behind this wall of speed and then try to stalk and close. Speed of the speed usually gets the way here. That's the 5-horse, which is one of the EP horses. So maybe it doesn't go to the lead, just sits off the lead and saves a little bit of energy for the end because you can see it does tend to tail off pretty handsomely in the later part of the race. At the end, you will find that 1-horse, the closer, tied with the 2-horse, 2 Worlds, as the strongest late kick in there. And then the early speed, late speed combination, you got the 1, the 2, the 7, and the 6 in a class of their own with the 5, 3, and 4 right behind them, Charles. I saw this yesterday with a 2-horse. I didn't play the 2-horse. I should probably flip out the 2-horse in the back here and put the 1 in its place because of that lone closer. I'm probably going to regret it, but go ahead and tell me what you got.
Yeah, but I think the 2 has got everything going for it in this race. This horse ran second last time out. Trainer gets 27%, 46 plus days of rest. Perfect. Has some speed to, stay with them. I think the 5 will take the lead. I think that the 2 will sit right there, second or third. This horse also cuts back in distance. Love that angle. So that's why I put 20 to win on this horse. So I think this horse has got an excellent shot today. The 6-horse is my second choice here. This horse won the last 2 times. Third start after a layoff here. The trainer gets 30% with that angle, so that's an excellent angle. This is another one that has sort of speed. He's on the outside of the 5, so that might be a little bad for this horse. We'll see how that turns out. And then the 3-horse is my third choice here. This horse won last time out. It's got some of that tactical speed. He'll be sitting probably right around 3rd or 4th. Got a hot jockey the last 7 days aboard. And then the 5-horse is my final pick here. The speed, I think the speed of the speed, won last time out. Trainer gets 17% first after a claim. So that's what you have here with this horse.
I just made a cardinal sin, so I just guaranteed that the 7 horse is going to win, folks. I changed the 7 to the 1, and last time you and I were together at Horseshoe Indianapolis, I changed from the 6 to the 1, the 1 to the 6, and then the 1 came in 1. So, folks, just go ahead, load up
And
on
I
the
think
7.
I announced on the show that, hey, everybody, he just told you who the winner is.
Yes, I just did the same thing with the 7 and the 1 in my trifecta. So just forget everything we're going to say here and just go load up on that 7. There's no
you just did
about it.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, I did it. Well, hey, if people can use it to their advantage, whatever it takes, man. Metallic Man, that's the one I think is going to win this race. Won the last 2 races in a very big way. Did so at better fractions last time out. And let's see if he can continue up that ladder in the 3rd after a layoff. Your favorite handicapping angle, Charles.
Yep.
Lord Barna, the top jockey at Horseshoe Indianapolis, Marcelino Pedrosa, gets off the 1 horse, Nile Man, to ride the Tampa Bay Invader, who ran the top last race speed figure. I would imagine that he's got the word that the 6 horse, the 3 horse might be a little better than the 1. Either that or he's committed to those connections. Number 5, Fenestra. You cannot ignore the C zone and early pace, so I didn't. Put him in here at 3rd, see if he can get to the lead and just kind of maybe fade off at the end as the 3 and 6 run by. And then the 2 horse for me was a tough call over the 1 and the 7 for me. But it's probably the most consistent horse in this race. Big overlay in here, Charles, as you can see. Your top pick. I put him in there 4th. Trifecta for me, 3-6 with the 3-5-6 with the 1 instead of the 7, 2-3-5-6. And like I said, just disregard everything Charles and I have said. Go focus on that 7 because I changed my bet. You know it's going to happen, right?
Yep. Of course.
Always does. It's like cardinal rule number 1. Don't change your bet. Race 5 is one of a pair of 1 mile turf races on the card today. That was classic. I even texted you. Can you believe the 1 horse won? Claiming 25,000 non-winners of 2 races. Purse is 23,500 at a mile on the turf. The kind of horse that you want to see has tactical speed. So probably 3rd or 4th at the quarter-mile marker. Although still 31 out of 100 do take them wire to wire. There is a very good inside 3 bias. 4 through 7 play fair. Again, we see if you're on the outside, it's definitely hurts your chances to win. So big 8 and out, a big ding, Charles. In race number 5, if you're looking for early speed, it looks to me like, well, that 8 horse is going to get a big advantage with the 9 horse on the sideline.
Yeah, he's got a big change. Yeah, now that the 9's gone, it really, puts a damper on that. But, the 10, I personally think the 10's got some speed, a little bit more than what it shows there. But, the 8 is going to get a little bit higher on that percentage, and I think so will the 4 and so will the 10 on that. When it comes to simulation odds itself, the 2 itself, just slightly over 2 to 1. You got 4.5 to 1 on morning line. That's not a bad overlay. And then it looks like the 8 itself, 4 to 1, morning line's 15. It might not be 15 when it's all said and done because of the scratch, but it's still
because everybody's watching this show. They learned about these simulations, right. Charles. Yes,
that's right. Exactly. And then the 10, just slightly over 3 to 1. You got 4 to 1 morning line. So you might have a little action there with some overlays too.
Yes, you got some very strong C-zone scores in here. So most horses should be very comfortable, except for maybe Silent Sonata. The 6 horse might find it a little bit not to its liking. That is one of the morning line favorites. So maybe an indication that the 6 horse could be a little bit vulnerable as the morning line favorite. In the 5th race, you have either speed horses or closers. Nothing in the middle, Charles. So the question is, what does that early pace look like? If it's slow, it could be, if it's a Finger Lakes type pace that you were talking about today, Charles, if it's slow, then look out for the 8 or the 4. Those 2 can get to the front. They look like they have the most early speed. Could be difficult to run down if they can go at a temperate pace. If not, on the way home, the 8 horse, look at that, Charles. Not only is he going to be up front, but he's one of the 4 with some of the best late speed. Might be difficult to pass what you can't catch, Charles. Early speed, late speed combination, we get ourselves an 11-point advantage for Undismayed. Again, if you've watched this show long enough, you know that if you have a 10-point advantage over every other horse in the field, might not be your winner, but absolutely one that you want to wheel in your exactas and your trifectas and maybe even your superfectas. Charles, how do you rank them?
Well, I rank the 2 as my top choice here. I think this horse is, well, first things first, this horse is bred for this, bred for turf. I think this horse has enough speed. Either A, could go out to the lead, or B, could sit right there next to them, especially the 8. And this horse drops in class also. So a lot of positives for this horse. And the same thing with that 10. 10 is my second choice here. Another one that has some speed, like I said, ran third last time out, cuts back in distance. Got to watch out for that horse. The 7 here in this race, we just finished talking about that. Also, this horse is bred to like the turf. Damn sire was a quiet American. That horse has thrown so many turf winners. It's unbelievable. So you got turf on the bottom side of this horse. Tactical speed fits with this group. And then the 8 horse here, I think, if he doesn't get the lead, he could sit right there second. Got drops in class. He totally fits with this group. That's why I put a trifecta box here. I think all 4 of those horses are really dangerous. So that's what I did.
All right. So he put all 4 of his horses together, unsure which one's going to win and hoping that they go in descending order from the highest odds to the lowest odds.
That's right.
I like in the 5th race, the 2 horse Mom's Moon. Hey, that's the one JT Brew likes too with his turf picks today. So maybe we're all on to something. I don't know. Again, if that's as bad as the Ghostbusters combining their stream, we're going to end the world or we're going to kill the Marshmallow Man, one or the other. But there's a pretty significant drop in class for this one. The last race, we saw that the 2 and the 4 furlong pace numbers and fractions were considerably better than the prior start. That's almost always an indication. When I go through my notes, I see it a lot, those notes specifically, and then the winner. Number 8, Undismayed, has that strong early pace, late pace advantage over the rest of the field, 11 points. And I guess, as I said earlier, you can't pass what you can't catch. So we'll see if indeed that proves to be the case. And I really benefits from Money War not being around today, the 9 horse. Silent Sonata, the 6 horse, has 2 trips on the Indiana turf, finished behind the winner only by 1 3/4 lengths in both of them. Going to get a weight break today, so maybe that weight break, I don't know if it can make up a 1 3/4 lengths, but maybe 3/4 of a length, so put it right there at the finish. And then finally, Moon Mischief, the 10 horse. Charles, I put this one in there for you because we argue over this from time to time. This one has the top turf pedigree numbers by a decent margin. Does have a trip over the Indianapolis Grand Turf. It won that one, but also has like almost 91% C-zone score, so not bad there at all. I'm going to do a pick 5 again, the 2 and 8. Charles, hoping that 8 comes home at 15 to 1. 1, 3, 5, 8, and 10. So going deep in that next leg. Got a couple bombs in there too. 4, 5, 7. I'm going to single up the 1 in race number 8 and then go 4, 7, which are 2 prices again in the back. If that pick 5 hits today, Charles, that's a positive ROI for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that is true. Those races that you have, all those horses, they're pretty wide open, I think.
Yeah, in the back end, I mean, we'll talk about when we get there why I went away from the 2 horses that are likely to be the maybe at least one of them I think will be a heavy favorite. We'll get into those details in just a minute, but now we're going to get into the details of race number 6. Maiden special weight, 38,500 again, 6 furlongs, early speed. Looks like you get a little bit of a discount. 1, 2, 3, 4 through 7 play fair, 8 and out, kind of stay away. We don't have any simulation stuff in here, Charles, so we'll just go straight to picks. And we have a couple different thoughts here, it looks like.
Yeah, the 11 is my top choice right here. This horse has some speed. Trainer gets 16%, 90-plus days of rest. Got a nice fresh horse here. You got trainer gets 20% when he puts him in sprints also. So I think this horse will be ready to rock and roll. The 1 horse is drops in class, also has some speed. 3rd start after a layoff, as we always say, that's my favorite angle. Hot jockey trainer combo, last 14 days. Excuse me. And then the 8 horse is my 3rd choice here. Tactical speed, I think he'll be sitting 3rd or 4th. He was well bet last time out. Trainer gets 18% with the 2nd time start. And then you got a hot jockey trainer combo also in the last 14 days with this horse. And then the 5 is my final choice here. This horse, Dam, has 2 winners from 2 starters. So she's 100%. Got a hot jockey trainer in the last 14, and this horse looks like it fits this race.
So Cam says, thanks for the stream. You're welcome. We have this card today in Turkey. Congratulations. Well, I hope that you guys find some winners over there in the great country of Turkey. I got to say, Charles, I don't know if you've ever watched novellas, but there was a novella here on TV that was filmed in Turkey and dubbed in English, I think. And I got to say, one thing is the guys over there are pretty lucky from what I saw in the novella. In any case, for me in the race number 6, I'm going to go out with the one horse. Girls Are Tougher, tied for the top last race speed figure, and did that in a $100,000 non-graded stakes race, and did have better fractions by about a half a second when the race was over. Making a third start after a layoff, that's a 28% angle again for Mr. Jeffrey Greenhill versus his 9% overall rate. Again, tripling, which is a super alpha angle. That's something I always look for, like a trainer who has a win rate here and then some angle where they win at a considerably higher number. I think those are the races, some indication that those are the races that the trainer is targeting. Number 5, Enchanted Melody. Why don't you sing us one, Charles, while I do my picks here? But of all the first-time starters, I feel like this one has the best workouts. That last one, 4 furlongs and 47-2, was pretty sharp, Charles. And if you can run 47-2 here, maybe a little bit quicker than that, would have a good shot, I think, to take them wire to wire.
Actually, I think it can do that today. Yeah.
Number 10, Unbridled. This is one Charles doesn't have in his picks. Would rank this one higher if not for that tough post position. That's why I kind of stayed away from that 11 too, because the 8 and out, they've really, really struggled. Even with the scratches, those two horses are right on that borderline there. It's the other horse to tie for the top last race speed figure and has a bullet workout, and is the lone PC type horse in this race, Charles. So we go back to here. I did put this together for race number 6 anyway, and you'll see that in the 6th race, 10 horses, the lone PC. You got some that want to be on the front and the middle, and then you got that host of the trio of first-time starters in there. And then finally, for me, the 8 horse Forever Blessed was well bet in its debut, Charles. Best published work since the horse has been training, just ran it. So I'm expecting some improvement today. One other horse in here that kind of caught my attention, which is in the final horse in my trifecta here. I have the 1-5 over the 1-5-10 over the 1-3-5, 8 and 10. And that 3 horse, Easy Avenue, didn't really show anything in its debut. And then what happens? They switch to the top jockey at Horseshoe Indianapolis. I don't know if he's just looking for a mount or if there's something that happened in training in between races where they think, this horse has a shot today. But I find that interesting that a horse that really ran way out of the money comes back and then gets the top jock the next time out. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe the top jock worked this horse out. Maybe, he's, rode other horses for the barn. And so he worked him out and liked him, maybe. I mean, that'd be my guess. Just a top jockey just doesn't jump on any horse. They usually,
especially one that just didn't show anything in its debut, right? I mean, that just seems to be a really odd.
That means one or two. That rider has been on that horse somewhere in its short career.
In race number 7, we got time for that before the second race kicks off today at Horseshoe Indianapolis. This one's a 1 mile and a 16th on the turf, and its allowance 36,000 non-winners of more than one race, other than maiden, claiming, starter, state bred, or Indiana bred, or which have never won 2 races. So a few conditions right there to read through kind of quickly. 1 mile and a 16th. They've only run 5 races, a handful of them so far. None of them were won by going wire to wire. In fact, stalkers and closers have had their way at 1 mile and a 16th. The rail is yet to find the winner circle in the 5 races, so maybe mid-edition will have its work cut out from it. 2 through 3, a little bit of penalty 2, so maybe starting right on the edge of the turn does give the inside 3 horses a bit of a challenge to overcome. 4 through 7 have run the best. 8 and out play at least fair, Charles. Again, speed doesn't really matter in race 7. So if it did matter, you probably would want to focus on, it looks like all of them have a chance to get to the front end.
Yeah, you got 3 horses really that want the lead. Probably the 8 at 22%, the 9 and even the 11 all have about the same percentage chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. For me, I think, I personally think the 9 will have the lead at the quarter pole, but it's going to be definitely a contest up there. Then when it comes to simulation odds, let's see what we got here. The 2, slightly under 3-1, and we got 4-1 morning line. The 4, slightly over 2-1, and you have 5-1 morning line. And then we go down to the 10. We have slightly over 7-1, 20-1 morning line.
Yes, and that 10 horse ought to scare the hell out of everybody because look at that strong C-zone score, big overlay, big price, one that maybe should be on the back end of your exactas, trifectas, superfectas, and neither one of us put him in there. So I'm a bit concerned about that 10, Charles.
No, and this is the race I said in at the beginning of the show. Like race 7 is, I expect some kind of a bomb here. I mean,
Yeah, some horse will go off at 3 to 5 and win.
I mean, you got the favorites that do have a chance, but I don't think they're like a gimme. Let's put that away.
All right. I agree with you. I think this one is wide open. Let's see if we can get any hints in the way to the winner's circle. Well, according to this shape, Charles, if I look at this, I'd probably want to be forwardly placed, even though the race is only favored closers so far, because in this race, all but 3 horses want to be back. There's 11 horse Lucy's Cakes Fly. One has the most versatility as the PC type. The 3 and a 6 want to get to the lead. It sure looks like the 6 is going to have its way on the lead. 13-point advantage over everybody else. So I'd expect that 6 horse Calm Set to get out there and really try to get maybe a 3-4 length lead and do so with reasonable fractions. Doesn't get crazy. Has a chance to maybe hang on late. If not, plenty of company down the stretch. French Cuffs, Puffin, Jenny Lind, and Livy B should have their best action late. The best early speed, late speed horse combination is the 4. French Cuffs and Calm Set, along with Puffin, Jenny Lind. It looks like a pretty competitive race, Charles, except for maybe the 3 horse Present Moment. So I got to guess that 3 horse, the one that has no chance, is probably your first pick.
Yeah. No, but
it's your third.
I definitely have it in there. No, I think I really do think it's a wide open. I like these horses. I think they all have a shot in their own way. 7 is my top choice, but this horse drops in class. This horse will be closing, which favors this distance, as we already stated. Second start after a layoff. Ashmanson is 100% in the money at this meet, so that puts that horse right there. And then the 4 horse is my second choice. This horse ran second last time, got that tactical speed, will be closing, and another one that'll be closing. Then the 3 drops in class. They add the blinkers today, second start after a layoff, and you go back and read some of his other lines of his European races. He was always very close to the lead. So I see this horse sitting very close, especially with blinkers on. And then the 9 horse today is my final choice. One last time out. Brett for this does have some speed. So watch out for that horse on the lead. Might be able to pick up a piece of the pie.
So JT Bruce is leaning towards the 4 horse French Cuffs. Great minds must think alike, JT, because that is where I am. And you can see Charles, he didn't have it in his top pick. So he gets excluded from the Great Minds Club. French Cuffs at Hindi, Horseshoe Indianapolis. I maybe one that likes to hang, though. Makes me a little bit nervous, though. 5 times out, 4 seconds on the Horseshoe Indianapolis turf. Maybe looking around at the end for a horse to see if it's where it's supposed to be. Did have considerably better pace numbers and fractions from the beginning to the middle to the end of its last race. So definitely trending in the right direction. Tough call for me over to 5 horse. I was going back and forth between which one I wanted to put first in here. Hibia, I have no idea if that's how you pronounce that, but I do know that it did have a terrible start in its last race. Despite that terrible start, still managed to run its top career speed number. It's been at Horseshoe Indianapolis 4 times on the grass, won 2 of them, a second and a third, but that second, Charles, was just a head away. So it could have 3 wins on the 4 times at that track, and maybe a little bit better start. Could be undefeated in 4 at Horseshoe Indianapolis on the grass. Jenny Lind, that 7 horse, Charles, you mentioned. Steve Asmussen entered 7 so far at the Indianapolis meet. He's got 4 wins and 3 thirds. So it was either put him first or put him third. I like the 4 and 5 a little bit better, so I put him third. Obviously, Steve is placing his horses correctly at this meet. And then finally, the 2 horse Helen's. Well, head scratcher for me, Charles, with this horse in here. I put in my notes, what's this horse doing here? 2 races back, it was running in a grade 3, a couple races before that in a grade 2, and a little bit earlier than that was running in the Breeders' Cup, finishing 8th, only 1 3/4 lengths behind Pizza Bianca. So what in the hell is a horse that has that kind of record doing at an allowance race at Horseshoe Indianapolis? I'm not quite sure what to make of that, Charles. What do you make of that?
I'm sure there's some issues with the horse somewhere, but it's not bad issues where you have to retire the horse. It's just one of those things. Yeah, you're right. That's I I think if they're tailing off that much, I think they've done enough work for you. That's what I think.
Or you think they're just trying to pay the bills. I'm going to do an exact trifecta, 4, 5, 7, or 4, 5, 7 over the 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we'll rewind back to race number 2 because they're loading into the gates now. Plenty of first-time starters in here. Charles and I both like the one horse on top, as do most of the bettors. It is the 4 to 5 favorite right now. The second favorite is Charles' second pick, the 3 horse, Heavenly Dream. That one is 8 to 5 at the moment. Next up on the board is the 6 horse at 4 to 1, Crown Imperial. And then after that, the 2 horse is 8 to 1, Best Cupcake. And then you have the 4 horse at 15 to 1. And I think that rounds it out, right?
Yep.
So let's see. They're all loading in there. I like the drone view. Whoever's flying the drone did a great job of holding it steady because that thing is not moving. Kind of moving around a little bit with the camera. A little bit jerky. Looks like we're just waiting for the 6 horse to enter. And he does. Crown Imperial enters like a pro. Looks like they're all in and ready to go. And they're off. And they all break pretty sharply, Charles. Pretty competitive.
Yeah,
opening. So you got the 1, the 2, the 3 in that order. The 1 has nosed out to the lead, April Cover at 1 to 1. So the odds kind of went up a little bit. It was 4 to 5 right before heading into the gates. That 3 horse, Heavenly Dream, Charles' second choice there, right there as well. As second as the 2 are neck and neck. The 3 horse looks like it wants to lead there, though, Charles. It's kind of pushing up, working hard to get beyond the 1. The 6 horse now has decided it wants to join the race, and it's kind of running kind of aggressively there, Charles, I feel like. He's going to run by the 3 horse here. And the question is he going to run by the 1 horse as well? Although kind of hard to run by anybody when you wobble coming out of the turn like that, I would say. As they come, and that 6 horse is just rank all over the place. I think it is the best horse in the race. He just doesn't want to. Yeah, he's going to be your winner, I think, Charles.
He's lugging in.
Yeah. Now he's going to blow right by that 1 horse. 6, 1, 3, folks. There you go. 6, 1, and 3. 6, 1, 3. And I have the trifecta right there. 6, 1, 3. The gold cooking there, Charles. That 6 horse, folks, circle that one. That was a race where that horse got off to like a sluggish start, made a huge mid move, kind of ran sideways, blew the turn, and still managed to run by everybody.
Yeah.
That was a interesting race.
Really lugging bad.
Mm-hmm. So 6, 1, 3. 6,
so
1, 3.
We're saying John Ortiz, he gets them ready. He gets them ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and a friend of the show, too. We had him on. Great guest. Does a lot of great things with his barn. One of the few people that gives people apparently a job. Like the folks that work for his barn are salaried employees, which is not that common, right? Mr. Charles? All right, race number 8. Since Charles is ignoring me, we're going to go back to 1 mile on the turf for an allowance, 38,000, non-winners of 2. With all those conditions right there, as you can see on the screen. Again, we talked about 1 mile on the turf. Does favor horses with tactical speed, but you can still go wire to wire. 31% of the time they do. There is an inside 3 bias. 4 through 7 play fair. 8 and out. Pretty sizable ding in the 8th race, Charles. Our simulations tell a story of the 11 horse and the 5 horse getting after each other when the gates open.
Yeah, especially with the 4 being taken out of this race, the 5 and the 11 are really going to probably go at it. 11 right now, 29% chance. The 5 at 25% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. I think those 2 will definitely be out there winging it, going for it. And when it comes to simulation odds, though, let's see what we have here. The 8. Slightly under 9 to 1. You got 20 to 1. Morning line, that ain't too bad. And then that 11 horse itself, slightly over even money, and you got 6 to 1 morning line, which is a nice overlay.
So take a shot at Pantalones en Fuego. What do you think that means?
I don't. Your pants are on fire.
Yeah, your pants are on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I guess. All right, Charles. Way to go, my man. All right, in the 8th race, our race shape looks like again that you have a bunch of horses that want to close, 3 that want to be on the front. Again, speed doesn't do poorly at 1 mile on the turf. So tactical speed, maybe that 5 horse Empire Sunrise, pretty good advantage over everybody else, but he's a closer, Charles. So if I could draw on the screen, that would be what I call a left arrow horse. Horses that typically want to be towards the back of the pack that find their way forward. Heck, I'm wearing the 5 today, so maybe that's a little bit of an omen for this one. On the late speed, it does belong to the 2-horse. She's a Clever Justice closer with the most late speed, although there's plenty of them here with late pace. Put together the early speed and late speed combination, you're going to get that 1-horse Out of Promises. Slightly scores better than the 2-horse, slightly scores better than the 8-horse, and then the 11 and the 6. It's a jump free for all from there. I think I'm a little bit worried about that 5-horse with a shot to get towards the front, Charles, in what could be a paceless race. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think the 11 will go out there. I really do. So I got the 2 on top. This horse ran 3rd last time out, 2nd start after a layoff. Trainer gets 16% with that angle. You got a trainer that gets 17% when he takes him from a sprint to a route. So I think this setting up this horse big time for this race. And then the 1 is my second choice. I also think this one will be flying at the end. 1 last time out. The dam has 1 turf winner. So it looks like she could throw some turf horses. You have a trainer that gets 33% going from dirt to turf. Great angle. And then the 10 horse itself is my third choice. 1 last time out. 3rd start after a layoff. Got a hot jockey trainer combo. Last 14 days. And then I'll have that speed horse I think will be out there winging it for the final piece of the pie, the 11. 3rd start after a layoff. Trainer gets 19% with that angle. Totally fits with this group.
I'm going to start off with that 1 horse coming off its debut. I'm not the biggest fan of horses that come off the maiden win without having the top last race speed figure, but I look at that move in the stretch. There was a power move late in its debut to get the W. Got a whole lot going on here as well with this horse. It's going to go from dirt to turf. It's going to go for its first route. So a whole lot of things going on in there. But trainer John Langmeyer, he's won 3 of 8 times. He went from the first turf angle. He's won 4 of 10 the first time the horse stretches out, and he's won 5 of 15 on the dirt to turf angle. I think that power move indicates this is a horse that, as you mentioned, Charles, is going to be rolling late. Going from a sprint to a route, I would think that the horse will be more forwardly placed today relative to horses that are used to running a route. I think this horse is the potential single on the card today. Number 2, She's a Clever Justice. Could be better in round 2 off of the bench. Significant early improvement late in its last race, and usually does have some additional late runs. So I think you'll see more out of She's a Clever Justice, your top choice. Pantalones en Fuego, your pants are on fire. Does have that significant overlay, Charles. Looks like it should be somewhere along the lines of 3-2 instead of 6-1. Has the top C-zone score too, at least tied with the 6 horse Tap the Line. I think this one's another one that, as you mentioned, Charles, is going to be close to the front in a race packed with closers, and speed doesn't hurt at a mile on the turf at Horseshoe Indy. And then finally, Bickerments, the 9 horse. Its pace numbers in race were better across the board last time out with some faster fractions. It has raced against that 2 horse, your top pick 4 times, beat the 2 horse 2 times, and was beat by the 2 horse 2 times. This one has room to get better in Charles's favorite handicapping angle, which is the classic, the one everybody learns first, 3rd start after a layoff. I'm going to do a $1 double. I really feel like that the 1 horse is the best horse in this race. We'll find out if it is. Over the 2, the 4, the 7, and the 8, which brings us to the last thoroughbred race on the card. That's race number 9. They're going to go back to 6 furlongs. Charles Maiden claiming $17,500. That's 6 furlongs. Again, you're looking for early speed with about a third of the horses going wire to wire. 4 through 7 do the best. A little bit of a discount. 1 through 3, 8 and out. Ooh, punishment, punishment, punishment. Speed does work. You just don't want to be on the outside in race number 9. So the inside speed belongs to the 3 and the 4.
Well, the outside speed is the 8, of course. 43% chance of having that lead. I really do think this one's going to be out in front. I think it'll pop the gate good. But like you said, the 4 and the 3 are going to have a say in that. Especially that 4 has a 35% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. And the 3 has a 14% chance. When we got the simulation odds, let's see what we got here. We have, just the 8.
Just the 8, yeah.
Yeah, about what, 3-5, 2-5, and you got 2.5 to 1 morning line.
Yes, and it's got a strong C-zone score too. So the 8 horse is going to likely be your heavy favorite in this race, Charles. I think that's what you're going to see when the bettors put their money on the line. It is a lone E horse. Everybody's looking for the lone E horses, Charles. The 8 horse does have a little bit of an advantage over everybody else early on. Over the 4 horse, Trying for Justice. Trying for Justice really tailed off badly with some early speed, so it's got to show some late leg problems. Coming home, Sequeaker does have a little bit more late speed. The 8 horse should be right there again with the late speed. So it looks like that might be, if you can't catch it, you can't pass it horse in this race. Scoring 9 points better than everybody else. That 1 horse, I'm a Holiday Lady Cat. Look out for that one too, a lone P horse. You got a couple of first-time starters, so we don't know where they fit in this puzzle. And so far, the 3, the 4, and the 6, they haven't shown that they're anywhere interested in being within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line, Charles. I got some reasons to go away from that 8 horse and the 2 horse as well. But you put that 8 horse in there. I think a lot of people are going to single it at the back end of their pick 5s. I forgot to tell you my pick 5 here, Charles, in race number 5. 2-8 with the 1, 3, 5, 8, and 10 with the 4, 5, 7. Going to single that 1 like I talked about with the 4, 7. And then in race 6, Charles, you have a pick 4. I don't think we went over that either. But there you see Charles's pick 4 in race number 6. Race number 7, you got the try box. I got the trifecta as well. Race number 8, both of us going with the doubles. And then on race 9, get to your picks and why the 8 horse is going to overcome what I'm going to tell you its trainer hasn't been able to overcome this year.
This horse has speed. Drops in class. Second start after a layoff. I think this horse will go to the wire to wire. But yeah, I've got a couple of the horses that might push him, but I think he'll go wire to wire. The 3 horse is my second choice here. Drops in class. Back on dirt. Fits with this group. The 9, a first-time starter. Dam has 3 winners from 4 starters. Bred for speed. Got some solid works. And then the 4. This horse has been off for more than a year, but it's got some solid works. Drops in class. Totally fits with this group. Could be dangerous.
I am going to start off with the 7 horse as my top selection here, Charles. Bat. I'm banking on that April 19th workout at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Ran 4 furlongs and 47 in 1, Charles. Just the fastest of 32. Fastest of Franco Harris. You can't go with O.J. Simpson anymore. Politically incorrect. There's a lot of 32s, right? Trying for Justice. The 4 horse is my second choice. A little bit of a price here. This one's 12-1. Good shot to be on the lead. Been off for almost 2 years, Charles. But those last 4 workouts getting prepped to return are impressive. I think if the horse runs anything like it's doing at the practice range, should be able to take its game to the course today and shoot well. That 8 horse, it's going to be a very heavy favorite, I feel like, Charles. All the numbers point that way. But this barn has put out 17 horses in 2023. You know how many of them won, Charles?
0.
Absolutely nada. How do you back a 0 for 17 barn?
Because it's only 0 for 17. It's not like 0 for 40.
17 is still a pretty good data set, Charles. That's a cold barn, my man. I mean, this one could be the one to make the O go.
If you got nothing but maidens or cheap claimers, that's not hard to do.
Yeah, well, again, cheap claiming race here. I'm not going to back a horse that could be 3-5, 4-5, especially for a barn that's not getting it done. And the barn also is going to throw out that 2 horse, Raise and Praise. It's got another first timer with a decent string of works. Maybe one of the 2 of them can finish in the money, and maybe they can send one out to be like the bunny for everybody to chase, so the other one can close into it. Maybe one of the 2 of them wins. Maybe one of the 2 of them finishes in the money. I'm going to do a try with the 4 and the 7, Charles, over the 4, 7, 8, over the 2, 4, 7, 8, and 9. Hopefully, the 4, the 7 wins and brings home a really nice pick 5 for me at the end of the day. That is the pick 5 ticket I like more, especially now that the first one's out of the money altogether. Charles, here are our entirety of our picks today at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Again, race 1 is in the books. Who won race 1 again, Charles? I think the 2 horse one. Yes, it went 2 and 6 because that was the whatchamacallit, the comfort zone exacta. Then it went 6-1 in race number 2. Race number 3 is about to come up, Charles, but too much time for us to stick around for that one.
Minutes, which means 20 minutes to them.
Yes. You and I will be back tomorrow, Charles, for Belmont Park on Thursday, Friday. Myself and Thomas will get together for Foreign Fridays. We had a really good week last week. hopefully you tuned in for that and cashed some early Saturday and Sunday morning tickets, because we cashed them across both days there. We're going to be doing the Epsom Derby, a big race out in England. Tune in for that. Again, maybe you get some early morning money to play on the races on Saturday afternoon. I'm not sure if you and I and Terry are going to get together on Saturday or not. We haven't quite made up our minds on that. Charles, again, join me and Sean this evening on Horse Center. We'll introduce you to the owner of, or at least one of the part owners of Mage. If you have any questions about what it's like to be an owner of a horse that won the Kentucky Derby, or how you might be able to participate in micro shares with Ramiro Restrepo, again, 8 p.m. tonight. And the best way to make sure you don't miss that show, Charles, once again,
is to hit that subscribe button, and plus that little bell off to the side, so you get alerted right away that the show's about to begin.
Yes, the show will go on. And indeed, if you want to support the show, head on over, please, to horseracingtoday.net. You'll see this website over there. A little bit of a controversial story from our good friend Ronaldo, catching some negative flack on the social media sites. Hey, folks, everybody's got a right to their opinion, as do you. Let us know what you think. But I mean, that's what Ronaldo does. He goes out and he does the research, and then he puts it out. Whatever the story is, right? That's what
by the way, he's right.
That's what the data says, my man. And that's what he's putting out there. But while you're there, you see up here in the menu, there's a lot of great stuff over here. Please hit that HRT gear. Yeah, you can't look as good as Charles ever, no matter what you do.
Never. I mean,
but you'll definitely look better than I do in the Horse Racing Today gear. Please go over there and get that. Help support the show, and you'll look fantastic at the track. The weather is right for a nice T-shirt. This one is the green with the number 5 on the back, so it matches the aprons. You can't get them anywhere else, Charles. And that wraps us up for today. Any final words of wisdom from you?
No, that's about it. Just go and get some winners. And if you're out here in Kentucky, get ready for some storms. It looks like some thunder. I hear it out there. Getting ready to rock and roll.
Yes, nobody expected any words of wisdom from you, Charles. So thank you for the no up front. We appreciate that. No matter what you're doing for the rest of the day today.
Yeah, don't ever work with Rich. No,
no matter what you're doing today, we certainly hope that everybody has God's favor, God's grace, and that everything that you do, from work to pleasure to just whatever, ends up in the
winner circle.
Indeed. Charles and I look forward to joining you tomorrow. Sean and I look forward to joining you tonight. Until then, have a fantastic hump day.